Hour number 2 on this historic day for multiple reasons. Historic is this the first ever time ever that this show, Idaho Sports Talk, has broadcasted the show from the blue turf. That's exactly where we are right now, 50-yard line, right on top of the Broncos' head on the logo, facing the Albertsons Stadium. Paul J. Schneider press box and all that good stuff, Prater, as Boise State open their arms to us. Let us do this today. Jeramiah Dickey right around the corner on this thing. And Boise State, July 1st, 2026, Prater, they're going to switch this whole thing up and say, we're a part of the Pac-12.
Holy cow, that seems like a long ways away ball game, and it'd almost be kind of fun and nice and neat and tidy if we could do it next year. And there was some talk last night about whether these four Mountain West, the Mountain West four is what we should call them, we're going to be able to allow to stay in the Mountain West. Sometimes you get weird, and it's like, okay, I don't need you sticking around. I'm firing you now and go away now. But Oklahoma, Texas, they kind of made it work before they went into the SEC. I don't think that there's any ill personal wills between these four programs and the Mountain West. Everybody's a professional. This is all business for these guys, and certainly that's kind of the tone that Jeramiah set. He's done a lot of media interviews today. He had a press conference, and he's going to join us here in a second right here on the Blue. But it's going to be a long, awkward, and very uncomfortable 2 years, but I think it's worth the wait, and we're all pretty excited and fired up about the news of the last 24 hours.
It's one of those weird things, and it's hard to imagine we waited 2 years for Texas and Oklahoma. It didn't feel that long. Maybe it did for some people closer to that, for them to go from the Big 12 to the SEC. Who knows how long this will feel for Boise State fans and fans of the other three programs? Probably a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't even know, Prater, maybe there are particulars that do exist. We've seen this before also. 2 years, we're going to go as soon as possible. What are the chances, in your opinion, July 1st, 2025, this thing happened?
No, I don't think so. I think they're locked in, and we may even get some term sheets and some numbers and some other details as Boise State puts out a lot of the details over these next couple of days of this deal. Maybe we'll even get it from Jeramiah, who's walking up to our set right now. But no, I don't think that that's a possibility. As much as impatient as we are, I think we have to sit and wait till July 1st, 2026. And, that's going to be a glorious day. JD's going to have to get about $1 million worth of fireworks. We're going to have to celebrate it. We're going to do a bonfire right here on the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
And Jeramiah Dickey, you did it, you son of a gun.
Hey, did you just spend more of our money?
I did. I just dropped $1 million of your dollars on fireworks on July 1st, 2026.
July 1st. I have some time. That's okay.
Yeah, you got some time.
I like it.
Welcome to the show, JD. Kind of wanted to follow up a little bit with the presser. Congratulations. Just a historic day for this athletic department. Not only Idaho Sports Talk for the first time ever broadcasting on the Blue, but it's official today. You accepted a formal invitation to join the Pac-12, to be a part of that. You said it's your job to do everything you can to better this athletic department.
Right.
How do you believe, JD, this decision to join the Pac-12 betters this institution athletically moving forward?
Yeah, and I've said it a number of times today, and hopefully I'm consistent with it. Obviously the Pac-12 brand, I understand things have changed, but the history and tradition of that brand, and I'm not, I grew up in Texas, but it was a sad day when all that took place, a couple years ago, and so to be affiliated with that and the brand we have, and understanding what our ambition has been in the past, that's a positive for us. You also look at the teams we're going in with and how we align competitively and our innovation, and I mean, I've talked to these ADs and including Washington State and Oregon State, and they have the same mentality, and you can do a lot as a team. And I think that bodes well for us because the resources matter. We're going to take the resources, which I do believe is more than what we have, and continue to invest into our program. And it's 18 sport programs. And so that's important to me. I also, you take into account the recruiting territory in the region we're currently in, understanding we're going to have to add other teams. But, the number of people that have reached out, that we have Broncos all over the country, but specifically in this West region, I think that helps us. Bronco Nation travels, and we're going to provide an elite home schedule, right? We'll get to schedule, Prater.
Yes, we will.
We're going to provide an elite home schedule. And I think that helps all of our sport programs when you look at how we recruit. So there's a number of positives when you look at this. The resources and our competitive excellence is probably the best way to summarize it. We're not going to stop. If I can make us better, we're going to find a way. Our team, we're bar raisers. We're not going to stop. We break a record, we're going to continue to move. And to me, that's what this opportunity provides us. We're going to continue to move, and movement creates those opportunities that I believe will turn into something epic.
One of the phrases that you've used a lot today in your rounds, press conference, media shows, whatever else, is risk reward, but you've never shied away from a risk. So let's break this sucker down. What are the risks of this decision? What are the rewards of this decision?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because I probably should have been more specific. Ultimately there's so much more positive than potential risk. But when you're making a decision like this and creating a conference, and there's only 6 of us, and we still have to go out and get more,
yes,
that does, that's, you feel that a little bit. And so that would be something I would define as a risk. We still have to go out and get at minimum 2 other teams to complete this conference. And with the coverage we've gotten today and the excitement and the number of ADs around the country that have reached out, I have no doubt we're going to be able to attract, like-minded institutions and people that align with us.
By the way, he did turn his phone upside down.
That's right.
We won't be
I'm
seeing...
smart. When I first, my first year, I had it the other way. So I've learned. I'm always learning. I'm always learning.
That's an old reporter's trick.
Yeah.
Jeremiah,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to ask you about the media rights package in terms of kind of what teams in the Mountain West are getting now compared to what you guys hope, maybe what you were told from the Pac-12, what those goals are as far as taking this to another level financially and getting a perfect media rights deal for these type of teams.
Yeah, I won't get into a lot of the specifics, but what I will tell you is based on what we brought in from the Mountain West this past year, at minimum, I know it's going to be more than that. And if I can make $1 more that I can invest back into Spencer, Leon, Gordy, etc., we're going to find a way. And that gives me a lot of hope in terms of how we add in the additional 2, 3, 4, however many schools that we add, and the value that they're going to bring to the table from a media market standpoint. We're going to hit the market before everyone else. I am bullish on that alone. And that's, we do everything. Even though I'm willing to take risks, we do everything very conservatively. My job is also to be fiscally responsible. But when we're running the numbers and we have data to support it, and you look at the most conservative numbers and it's better than where you're at, I know there's meat on the bone. And when you look at the Pac-12 enterprises, when you look at the publicity and the telling our story, and it's priceless. And you look at the potential other opportunities when you think innovatively of scheduling and game times and the nights a week you potentially could play on, and there's so much there, and it's so much easier creating it yourself in a new conference than trying to undo maybe a traditional way of doing things in another conference.
Jeramiah Dickey joining us on this historic day. We're on the 50-yard line, the blue turf. It's a beautiful day, and Boise State's going to join the Pac-12 on July 1st, 2026. Jeremiah, in terms of, we know that conference realignment is run by television executives, or at least it starts right there, because that's where it works. When you talk to your consultants, when I say you, I'm talking about the Mountain West 4 and the 2 Pac-12 guys. What do the consultants tell you? What do the TV executives tell you about what they like about this 6-team package?
Well, obviously, knowing we need to add 2 additional teams, and that very much ties into it. But it ties into what your question was. There's more value with these 6 teams plus whoever else we add than what we would have had in the Mountain West. And that's not, any offense to the Mountain West. I can't say enough about them and how they've, the relationships I have with them. But ultimately, this is a business decision. And the data that was coming back in terms of that competitive excellence component, which there's so many moving pieces to that. And we don't have time to go through the formula that you get to a number, but a lot of conference realignment is led by consultants and ultimately these data points. And it may be a little bit different in this case where there is no media deal. Right. And so it's not like you're going saying, hey, if we add these 2 teams, how much more will you give us? You're taking the full package and trying to find in this case, these 6 teams that we feel is an unbelievable foundation for what this conference could be. We think there's even more value than we even realize right now. And ultimately we're going to find out. Maybe it ties into your risk question. We'll have to see, what this comes out at. But once we make a decision, I'm not looking back. We're 100 miles per hour forward, and it's always what's next.
You're not going to give the details. We already tried to kind of ask you, but in terms of the TV pack, I mean, moving forward, it's changed. College football's changed. You said that. We've all known that. Are you looking at 2 or 3 linear TV partners and 2 or 3, streaming partners? I mean, these media package deals anymore are very diverse, aren't they?
They are, and I think that's a fair assumption. We're obviously gonna look at everything, but yeah, I think it's going to be a combination of those things, and I think Pac-12 Enterprises allows us to do some creative things, and so yeah, it's going to be that type of process, and it's starting immediately. And we'll know more obviously as we go through the next 30, 60, 90 days. But I know just the way my personality is, I'm not very patient. And so it's been very challenging going through this process because, it's ready, aim, fire. But, I would expect things to happen much sooner than later. And that excites me because it excites me I can't tell you how much Bronco Nation means to me in this place. Someone asked me on social, and I'm so far behind, did I know about this before I committed? And absolutely not. My mentality and my commitment to this place started well before any of these opportunities came up, and I'm committed, and I'm a Bronco, and I love this community, and I want to do everything I possibly can to elevate it and serve and truly represent Idaho as the front porch.
A hell of a lot better than Houston right now.
That's right. Hey, look at this football. Look at this football weather right now.
I didn't know we were going there. Nice job, Johnny.
Making this an amicable, I don't want to say breakup, but departure from the Mountain West. And I know you have a great relationship, as you should, with this league. You've been this league's flagship football program for a decade.
Yeah.
Right? You have been. I saw that the Mountain West said they were going to freeze the assets of Boise State and the 3 other schools and apply that towards payment. Is that standard operating procedure? Did that bug you a little bit? Like, do you have any control over that? Just you and this departure from the Mountain West. Is there anything Bronco Nation needs to know?
I think there's some control. I mean, but it's not a surprise. We went through this a little bit with San Diego State. I guess over a year ago now.
Yeah.
And so not a surprise. It's standard operation. And so, and that was expected. So I've answered this question earlier today. I'm not worried about the exit fees and the holding of money. Whatever we don't have, we're going to go out and get, and we're going to find a way forward. And, like I said, I'm going to bet on us, and, I'm excited about what the next, 22 months, but I do want to speak a little bit to, those relationships. And I said it earlier, they're more than just conference office members or other ADs in our conference. Many of them I call friends, and I'm empathetic. I understand what they're probably going through today, and but at the end of the day, it's his business and it's not personal. And I think I would be inhuman if it didn't impact me in some way, but I keep telling myself this is what's best for us, and that's my job.
Yesterday, we had a scheduled conversation on Idaho Sports Talk, and I beat you up a little bit as I do every now and then.
Someone texted me. I didn't even get to listen.
Well, I was upset that Washington State and Oregon State were no longer on the schedule. Yeah. And you sneaky son of a gun, you figured out a way to get them back on the schedule. I'm assuming 25 is set.
Yep.
USF, Eastern, Washington, App State, and Notre Dame. 2026, Oregon, Memphis, Western Michigan, and South Dakota. I don't know if 26 is going to change. You're probably going to have to tweak something moving forward here. Are we thinking, 7 conference games, 8 conference games, 9 conference games, 5 non-conference games? What kind of openings, what kind of opportunities will you have in the schedule starting in 26 and 27?
26 is set for now.
And you don't anticipate it changing?
I don't, but when you think about how we're going to set up the conference, and obviously we have a seat at that table. We have a seat at that table. Could a game come off depending on how many teams we add and how we set up, our conference games, and yeah, that's always a possibility, and something we've accounted for. 27. Ultimately, I'm slowing down on FCS, so that's probably news to Bronco Nation. I know I've been pretty vocal, in terms of our formula. We have to reconsider the formula depending on.
I'm applauding that decision.
The conference members, and so I'm slowing down a little bit, but I think in 27, 28, and obviously 29, we have some openings, and I feel confident we're going to be able to fill those. But knowing that, the games that were announced actually this week, I think we had those set midsummer, and I just was waiting on Houston, and obviously Eddie, who I'm friends with, and congrats to him, and him getting the Houston job. But I was waiting on them we like to announce it all at once and also coordinate with those schools, but I'll slow down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm always looking for opportunities, and you look at this new conference, there may be, something that we all buy into, that you have to play a Power Four because of the national relevance and the strength of schedule and the seat at the CFP table, and how our conference, based on the data, we're that much closer to the Big 12 and ACC and that much further away from everyone else. We're going to have to consider our strength of schedule, and the goal is to continue to sell out games, 6 games, 6 sellouts. I'm going to keep saying that. The goal is to continue to sell out games, because every dollar that we bring in, we're reinvesting back into the department. Our goal is to hit the ground running July 1st, 2026, and we're not looking back.
Jeramiah Dickey with us. Last thing for me, JD, and I'm asking this on behalf of a lot of social media posts and our text line, and take as little time as you want to address it. But, the future of this entire athletic department. Pac-12 plays baseball. Pac-12 does wrestling. Like, are you open to more expansion in this department with more programs and whatnot? Is that even something you'll consider?
Absolutely. I've said it before. I will always consider it. It's on the running list of balls in the air that we have.
Okay.
But there are some things that we have to figure out. We have to obviously create this conference. We have all the sponsored sports that are required. We also have to see what happens with house settlement and all these lawsuits, and are we going to get to we're obviously going to get to revenue share, but are we going to get to collective bargaining? Is football going to stay currently the way it is, or is it going to change at the end of this decade, which I think it will? And if football breaks away, what does that look like? So there are a lot of what ifs. It is on the top of mind, but it's not as easy as I think people think it is. Just add a sport. I got an email earlier, about women's lacrosse, and it's great. Like, we have a great women's lacrosse team here. But it's not as easy as people think. I'm trying to fund the 18 sports, 350 plus student athletes we currently have. And I don't have a money tree.
Totally.
I have an unbelievable team, like our major gift team, Jake Thompson and Brian Bills and Cody and Jake Mencken and BA and so many others. And I feel bad. I know we don't have enough time to mention all of them, but it takes a team, and whatever we don't have, we have to go out and find. And there is no money tree. And there is no pot of gold somewhere hidden on campus. I need everyone else to help. I need people to pull the rope in the same direction as we're doing. And my hope is, over the last 3.5 years, we've developed street cred that we're getting more buy-in. We've had a number of donations come in today.
Really?
And, yes.
Nice.
And that shows me Bronco Nation's commitment. And not that I needed to be convinced, but people are stepping up, and we need that. And I can't thank them enough. And hopefully they're listening. But it takes a team, and I'm going to continue to hammer that home. I cannot do this alone. I'm very fortunate to wear the hat I wear, and I'm grateful, but I need great people around me, and I need a fan base that is going to sell this stadium out 6 games this year, and then we're going to pivot to basketball, and we need to do the same there. And I'm excited, because I'm not one to back away from a challenge. I understand people have a lot of things going on, but I also understand what we represent in this state and what the community is. And I'm not going to stop fighting. I'm going to fight for our kids and our institution. And I expect everyone to be in this stadium against Portland State, and it's 1-0 mentality, and Washington State after that, and so on and so forth.
I know we need to get you off to a Little League baseball game, but we have hired Tyler Rossa, who's over here warming up, because he's going to coach us over the next half hour. Johnny has to catch a punt, and I have to kick a 25-yard field goal. I may negotiate that down to 25 yards. Who has the best chance to succeed, Prater or fail? Prater or Ballgame under the direct guidance of Tyler Rasa?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Prater.
I don't think I can catch
Prater,
a punch, Eddie. Okay.
I saw you jump into a pool at Circa one time, and I feel like maybe Prater. We'll see. Prove me wrong.
I'll do my best.
Come on,
I'll
prove
do
me
my
wrong.
best.
Hey, no one looked at my joke or at the press conference that I have this sty, and I've never had a sty in my life, and I want to cut off my bottom eyelid. I have so much empathy for anyone who has this. So there's a special place in heaven for anyone with a sty. This is horrible. It is absolutely horrible. You should have seen it yesterday. And I'm sitting, my wife's like, you got to do a press conference tomorrow. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to Ronnie Lott it and figure it out.
Well, that's what happens when you don't sleep for 6 weeks and getting this stuff done. So we appreciate your time. Thanks for having us on the Blue Turf. Don't kick us out. We want to come back tomorrow.
Absolutely. This is great that you guys are out here, and what a day. I know that you all had no idea, but what
are you sure about that?
Yeah. Well, maybe you did. Maybe you did. But this is cool. I appreciate you guys being out here. Go Broncos.
That's Jeramiah Dickey, athletic director, Boise State University. And that's why you listen to Idaho Sports Talk. Appreciate everybody on our Dollar Loan Center video shot for that as well, Prater. And it's time again, my man.
Let's go get some coaching.
You need
that kind of time.
Yesterday's keyword. We're taking caller number 9. If you want to be the next Boise State season ticket holder, let's play another round of touchdowns for tickets. Call 208-424-9300 and give JP yesterday's keyword, Wednesday's keyword. If you're caller number 9 with the keyword, you're going to join us when we come back, Prater, and we're going to see if we can qualify yet another potential Boise State future season ticket holder. It's Idaho Sports Talk, KTIK The Ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.